Hi. Welcome to our show.
Well, hi, everybody!
Coming to you somewhat live and semi-weekly from the Quad M World Headquarters located in Helena's scenic North Valley, this is the Quad M Show. We are your hosts. I am TJ.
I'm Jason.
Hi. Ladies and gentle people, we have got us a chock-full episode this week. We got tons of shit to talk about. So let's get to it, shall we?
Sure.
So last week, I had made mention that there was a podcast based out of Australia by the name of Podsocks. P-O-E-S-O-C-K-S. They were my pick of the week. Fantastic quality show. Go check it out. Well, as I was checking it out, there was a topic in particular that they were talking about that I knew nothing of. And it was the damnedest thing. And so I decided, not that I'm ripping them off completely, but, I was inspired by them. And so went and did a little research, i.e. Wikipedia.
Sure.
And got the full 911 on a classic moment in Australian history. Picture this.
411 is the word you're looking for.
Didn't I say 411?
You said 911.
Jesus Christ. If you're not talking about poop, you're correcting me. So at least we have this as a regular occurrence. TJ fucking can't speak the English language and doesn't poop outside, and Jason handles it all. So anyways, the 411. And remember, a very important life lesson here, kids. If you steal from one source, it's called plagiarism. If you steal from two sources, it's called research. So, very important incident from Australia back in the days, coming out of the Great Depression. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you, from Wikipedia's lips to your ears, the history of the Great Emu Wars. Following World War I, large numbers of ex-soldiers from Australia, along with a number of British veterans, took up farming within Western Australia, often in marginal areas. With the onset of the Great Depression in 1929, these farmers were encouraged to increase their wheat crops, with the government promising, and failing to deliver, assistance in the form of subsidies. In spite of the recommendations and the promised subsidies, wheat prices continued to fall, and by October of 1932, matters were becoming intense, with the farmers preparing to harvest the season's crops while simultaneously threatening to refuse to load the wheat. The difficulties facing the farmers were increased by the arrival of as many as 20,000 emus.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Emus regularly migrate after the breeding season, heading to the coast from the inland regions. With the cleared land and additional water supplies being made available for livestock by the Western Australian farmers, the emus found that the civilized lands were good habitat, and they began to foray into farm territory.
Jesus H. Christ.
In particular, the marginal farming land around Chandler and Walgooland. The emus consumed and spoiled the crops, as well as leaving large gaps in fences where rabbits could enter and cause further problems. Farmers relayed their concerns about the birds ravaging their crops, and the deputization of ex-soldiers were sent to meet with the Minister of Defense, Sir George Pierce.
That name sounds like royalty.
Having served in World War I, the soldier settlers were well aware of the effectiveness of machine guns, and they requested their deployment. The minister readily agreed, although with conditions attached. The guns were to be used by military personnel, and troop transport was to be financed by the Western Australian government. The farmers would provide food, accommodation, and payment for the ammunition. Pierce also supported the deployment on the grounds that the birds would make good target practice. Although it has also been argued that some in the government may have viewed this as a way of being seen to be helping the Western Australian farmers, and towards that end, a Fox movie-tone cinematographer was enlisted. So apparently they brought a documentary guy in with this too. Okay, so there's your prologue. Now let's get into the great Emu Wars. Now, military involvement was due to begin in October of 1932. The war was conducted under the command of Major G.P.W. Meredith of the 7th Heavy Battery of the Royal Australian Artillery.
Oh, good for you!
With Meredith commanding a pair of soldiers armed with 2 Lewis guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition.
Independently targeting particle beam phalanx. Wow! Fry half the city with this puppy. We got tactical smart missiles, phase plasma pulse rifles, RPGs. We got sonic, electronic.
The operation was delayed, however, by a period of rainfall that caused the emus to scatter over a wider area. The rain ceased by the 2nd of November of 32, at which point the troops were deployed with orders to assist the farmers and, according to a newspaper account, to collect 100 emu skins so that the feathers could be used to make hats for light horsemen.
Thumbs up.
On November 2nd, the men traveled to Campion, where some 50 emus were sighted.
Movement!
What's the position?
Can't lock in.
Talk to me, Hudson.
Multiple signals. They're closing.
Go to infrared, people. Look sharp.
As the birds were out of range of the guns, the local settlers attempted to herd the emus into an ambush, but the birds split into small groups and ran so that they were difficult to target.
I got signals. I got readings in front and behind.
Where, man? I don't see shit.
He's right, there's nothing back here.
Look, I'm telling you, there's something moving and it ain't us.
As you can see already, kids, these birds, fantastic military minds. They're not going to get outflanked by the Western Australian Artillery. Nevertheless, when the first fusillade from the machine guns was ineffective due to the range, a second round of gunfire was able to kill a member of the bird's army.
There they go over there! Get them! Come on!
Later the same day, a small flock was encountered, and perhaps a dozen birds were killed. The next significant event was on November 4th. Meredith had established an ambush near a local dam, and more than 1,000 emus were spotted heading towards their position.
They're inside the perimeter. They're in here.
Hudson, stay calm.
There's movement all over the place.
Heading towards their position. Like the emus were like, yeah.
I see them dirty Australians at 50 clicks, Commander.
What should we do? We'll split up into our small innumerable units and render their machine gun fire uneconomic. They'll give up in a month.
Meredith, you glorious bastard, I read your book. This time, the gunners waited until the birds were in close proximity before opening fire.
Movement. Signal's clean. Range 20 meters. Man, this is a big fucking signal. 12 meters. 11. 10.
Then they're right on us.
9 meters.
Remember, short, controlled bursts.
8 meters. 7. 6.
Can't be, that's inside the room.
It's reading right, man. Look.
Well, you're not reading it right.
5 meters, man. 4. What the hell?
The guns jammed, and only 12 birds were killed, however, and the remainder scattered before more could be killed.
There they go over there! Get them! Come on! Get them!
No more birds were sighted that day.
Yeah.
So thus far, in 3 days' worth of work, we've got 17 out of 20,000 killed.
That's a start.
In the days that followed, Meredith chose to move further south, where his birds were reported to be fairly tame. But there was only limited success in spite of his efforts. At one stage, Meredith even went so far as to mount one of the guns on a truck, a move that proved to be ineffective as the truck was unable to gain on the birds, and the ride was so rough that the gunner was unable to fire any shots.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
By November 8th, 6 days after the first engagement, 2,500 rounds of ammunition had been fired. The number of birds killed is uncertain. One account claims just 50, but other accounts range from 200 to 500. The latter figure being provided by the settlers. Meredith's official report noticed that his men had suffered no casualties. Summarizing the culls, ornithologist Dominic Sevenity commented,
The machine gunner's dreams of point-blank fire into serried masses of emus were soon dissipated. The Emu Command had evidently ordered guerrilla tactics, and its unwieldy army soon split up into its innumerable small units that made use of the military equipment uneconomic. A crestfallen field force therefore withdrew from the combat area after a month.
After the withdrawal of the military, the emu attacks on the crops continued. Farmers again asked for support, citing the hot weather and drought that brought emus invading farms in the thousands. James Mitchell, the Premier of Western Australia, lent his strong support to renewal of the military assistance. Additionally, a report from the base commander indicated that 300 emus had been killed in the initial operation. So now they're down to 19,700. We're whittling them away, boys. Acting on the requests of the base commander's report, by November 12th, the Minister of Defense approved a resumption of military efforts. He defended the decision in the Senate, explaining why the soldiers were necessary to confront the serious agricultural threat of the large emu population. Although the military had agreed to loan the guns to the Western Australian government on the expectation that they would provide the necessary people, Meredith was once again placed in the field due to an apparent lack of experienced machine gunners in the state. Taking to the field on November 13th, 1932, the military found a degree of success over the first 2 days, with approximately 40 emus killed. The third day, November 15th, proved to be far less successful, but by December 2nd, the guns were accounting for approximately 100 emu deaths per week. Meredith was recalled on December 10th, and in his report, he claimed 986 kills with 9,860 rounds, at a rate of exactly 10 rounds per confirmed kill. In addition, Meredith claimed 2,500 wounded birds had died as a result of the injuries that they had sustained. Despite the problems encountered with the cull, the farmers of the region once again requested military assistance in 1934, 1943, and 1948, only to be turned down by the government.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
Instead,
They were busy fighting World War II. Nazis were a bit worse than emus.
sir, we can't stretch our numbers that thin. Instead, the bounty system that had been instigated in 1923 was continued, and this proved to be effective. 57,034 bounties were claimed over a 6-month period in 1934. By December of 1932, word of the Emu War had spread, reaching the United Kingdom. Soon, conservationists protested the cull as extermination of the rare emu. Dominic Cerviniti an eminent Australian ornithologist, described the call as an attempt at the mass destruction of the birds.
And a comment on an article I was reading about the Emu War.
The Great Emu War.
And for the Americans out there, please stop pronouncing emu as emu. It sounds like a cow in ecstasy. Pronounce it as emu, as if you want to fit in.
My apologies, Australians. The Great Emu Wars.
Emu. Yeah.
I remember that dark day on November 8th.
I don't know, man. I mean, going out camping and hunting emus with emus with military grade weaponry. Sounds fun. I don't know.
At first we saw about 20 of them down there, 50 clicks out. I looked at Commander Meredith and I says, "Hey, sir, I'm seeing Echo, and lots of them. What do you want to do?" And he said, "Son, the only thing we can do, let's get us a bird and eat good tonight." The problem was them birds was ready for us. We didn't stand a chance.
Get him! Come on! Get him!
Emus to the left, emus to the right.
Do you kill women and children? Yeah. How? You just don't lead them so much.
Don't lead them so much.
You guys should write a book about me.
The emu's got 8-ball and J. We gotta go back for them. No, mother, animal mother, we stay put. Fuck you guys.
Oh, shit.
No, son. I'll be the one to tell his mama. He died proud in these great Emu Wars. Damn it, Corporal Dundee will never be forgotten. Yes, to all the
Corporal Dundee.
I don't know any other Australian to all our proud veterans of the Great Emu War, we salute ye. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your little bit of education from us here on the Quad M Show, the Great Emu Wars. Oh. So last week I told you we were going to go ahead and I was going to do us a little bit of a poll. And we actually got some pretty good turnout on this little sumbitch. For those of you either new to the show or the ones that didn't bother participating, the poll went simply as this. Are you going to watch the new Ghostbusters film coming out this summer? And of the responses, now I got to ask, Jason, did you participate in the poll?
I did.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know which one you clicked then. So at 17%, let me go again and give you the results on the Quad M Power poll. 11% said yes. Were you being a smart ass and put in yes for the 11%?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope, wasn't me.
Okay. 33% said, oh, hell no. No. And ladies and gentlemen, at a whopping 56%, I'd rather trade hearts with Charlie Sheen. Not metaphorically speaking, but like actually receive his overtaxed, drug-addled heart. Charlie Sheen won with 56% of the vote. To all of you fine folks that participated in this week's poll, thank you so much. And at some point during the show here, we'll probably come up with another bullshit poll to throw out at your way, because I had fun looking at that, keeping up on the results there. All right. So before
Something to do with the Emu Wars. The Emu Wars.
The Emu Wars.
The most delicious war of all.
Corporal Dundee, always remember.
Now pass the gravy.
I hope it was worth it, Light Horseman. All right. So before we take a break off of this first segment, we got ourselves another Z-list celebrity follower.
Nice.
So this week, our Z-list celebrity follower is Rodney Salisbury. Rodney is a voice actor and a live actor who's been around for quite some time. His voice acting roles in video games include SOCOM 4, G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra, and Scarface, The World Is Yours. Some of his cartoon work. Do you remember the Spider-Man cartoon from about 1994?
No, not really.
Yeah, it was on Fox. He did the voice of Joseph Robbie Robertson. He was also on the recent Invincible Iron Man DVD. He's also done voices on Avatar: The Last Airbender, as well as Static Shock. Now, while none of these roles were prominent, probably not even, well, I'm sure quite a few of them had, the speaking parts. His TV work is damn near legendary. Are you ready for the are you ready for the titles of shows that Rodney Salisbury has been a part of?
Okay.
Starting from recent to the oldest. Bold and the Beautiful, CSI, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, Falcon Crest, Gimme a Break, 227, Young and the Restless, The A-Team, Scarecrow and Mrs. King, Knots Landing, Airwolf, Heart to Heart, Dynasty, Fantasy Island, MASH, Chips, and Taxi. This guy has been, customer number 2, man at door, for quite some time.
He looks familiar. Did you see any of his pictures and stuff?
Oh, yeah. No, I went on to the IMDb and looked him up.
Yeah, he looks familiar. Like, I'll probably see him in something now and be like, it's that guy!
Hey! That's a Z-list celebrity follower right there. Holy shit.
That guy.
So to you, Rodney Salisbury, thank you so much for joining us and participating in the fun and shenanigans out here at the Quad M Show kiddie pool.
Indeed.
Have a blessed day.
We made a warm spot for you.
We got it right here. Go ahead. The slip and slide works fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this first segment up, and we will come back with a little bit of FGS and some hot takes. This is the Quad M Show. Stay tuned.
Have you checked out QuadMProductions.com lately? QuadMProductions.com is your direct access hookup to order Enigma the comic book series and download the Quad M podcast. Check the appearances page for upcoming events and contact us with questions or comments. Don't be the only lonely soul who's missing out on all the fun. Visit us today at QuadMProductions.com. That's QuadMProductions.com.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Quad M Show. We are your hosts. I am TJ.
Jason.
And this segment is brought to you by Mirror Salon and Spa. Now, for all you cats and kittens out there, Mirror is doing themselves a little bit of a Father's Day giveaway. Prize package is a best way to describe it. It's kind of like a canvas, almost like a cross between a lunch tote and a tool tote. And this guy is fully loaded. You got yourselves tools and plenty of men's hair care products. Of course, it's Mirror Salon and Spa for a grand total roughly about $100 value. And in order to try to win this prize, it's pretty simple. Go to Mirror Salon and Spa's Facebook page and post your funniest story about your dad. That's all you got to do. Little Father's Day celebration, post the funniest story of your dad on their Facebook page, and that will enter you into a chance to win this gift pack valued at about $100. The giveaway is going to be on June 20th, so you got until the 20th to get that guy posted. So get on the Facebook, go to Mirror, post the funniest story of your father for a chance to win a gift pack from Mirror Salon and Spa.
Right on. Do you take videos? I got a video of my dad blowing himself up on the 4th of July.
Hey, it's a post. I don't see why not. They didn't give me any other stipulation on that. All right, so check them out today, folks. Mirror Salon and Spa, proud sponsor of this here Quad M show. All right, so let's go ahead here and get into a little bit of old Fred G. Sanford fun for this week. And I got a good one for you here.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Is it the guy who fucking fell into the hot water pool at Yellowstone and cooked himself to death?
No.
Because that guy gets an award?
Shit, 90% of the fucking tourists that go through Yellowstone get an award. Oh, let's go out and pet the buffalo. Yeah.
No, they didn't pet the buffalo. They put the buffalo in their car. Took it off.
Nope, this one comes to us from Mobile, Alabama.
Hey, what's going on this side?
Another state to put a pin on the map.
Nice.
All right, so headline goes as such: Alabama teacher suspended for handing out a racist math quiz featuring drugs, violence, and prostitution to 8th graders.
All right.
An Alabama middle school teacher has been placed on administrative leave after handing out a 10-question math quiz filled with references to drugs, violence, and prostitutes to her 8th grade class. Joanne Balser was suspended after one of her language arts students at Burns Middle School in Mobile took a picture of the quiz and sent it to his mom. Balser is a longtime educator who is set to retire this year. If you go on and you look at a picture, spit an image of Betty White.
Awesome.
Just to give you the visual on our gal Joanne. Erica Hall, the mother who received a picture of the test from her son on Friday, said she couldn't believe it when she saw the questions. Hall said the students in her son's class thought it was a joke, but their teacher instructed them to complete it and turn it in. I got here in my hot little hand the questions.
Okay.
You want to hear them?
Let's take this quiz.
And
Wait, do I have to math?
That depends if you choose to or not. I really don't care if you do or don't. But for all you people that say algebra is never used in your day-to-day life, when you hear this quiz, yes, it is and can be used on a daily basis. Question number 1. Ramon has an AK-47 with a 30-round clip. He usually misses 6 out of every 10 shots, and he uses 13 rounds per drive-by shooting. How many drive-by shootings can Ramon attempt before he has to steal enough ammunition and reload?
This is incredibly racist.
For one thing, it's a magazine.
Hey, I didn't write the test.
Another thing, Ramon better fucking take some target practice.
6 out of 10 he misses.
That's not a successful shooting.
No. I think the Western Australian Artillery did a much better job against the emus.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Leroy has 2 ounces of cocaine. If he steals an 8-ball, or if he sells an 8-ball to Antonio for $320 and 2 grams to Juan for $85 per gram, what is the street value of the rest of his hold?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Question number 3. Dwayne pimps 3 hoes. If the price is $85 per trick, how many tricks per day must each hoe turn to support Dwayne's $800 per day crack habit?
This is incredibly racist.
Question number 4. Raul wants to cut the pound of cocaine he bought for $40,000 to make a 20% profit. How many 1-ounce bags will he need to make to obtain the 20% profit?
Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Hey, I'm sick of it already.
Number 5. Desmond gets $200 for a stolen BMW. $100 for stealing a Corvette. Or, I'm sorry, $150 for stealing a Corvette and $100 for a 4x4. If he steals 1 BMW, 2 Corvettes, and 3 4x4s, how many more Corvettes must he steal to have $900?
You big dummy.
Number 6. Pedro got 6 years for murder.
You big cold-blooded dummy.
He also got $10,000. $10,000 for the hit. If his common law wife spends $100 of his hit money per month, how much money will he have left when he gets out?
This is incredibly racist.
Number 7. If an average can of spray paint covers 22 square feet and the average letter is 3 square feet, how many letters can be sprayed with 3 8-ounce cans of spray paint with 20% of paint left over?
Look at this graph.
Number 8. Tyrone knocked up 4 girls in the gang.
Whoa, look out, look out.
There are 20 girls in the gang altogether.
Tyrone.
Tyrone's a busy player. There are 20 girls in his gang. What is the exact percentage of the girls Tyrone has knocked up?
This is incredibly racist.
Number 9. LaShonda is a lookout for the gang. Lacuna also has a boa constrictor that eats 5 rats per week at a cost of $5 per rat. If LaShonda makes $700 a week as a lookout, how many weeks can she feed the boa constrictor off 1 week's income? And finally, question number 10 in the LA math proficiency test. Marvin steals Juan's skateboard. As Marvin skates away at 15 miles per hour, Juan loads his .357 Magnum. If it takes Juan 20 seconds to load his piece, how far away will Marvin be when he gets whacked?
She'd already had the Magnum loaded.
Him and Ramon, they must ride together. Both the school's principal and a school resource officer immediately investigated the situation after Hall and her husband reported the test on Tuesday. Mobile County Public Schools would not comment on personal matters, but told Daily Mail that the teacher who handed out the worksheet has been placed on immediate leave. Tyrone knocks up 4 girls in his gang.
You big dummy, see what you did?
Oh, who knew math could be so much fun?
Math never solved anything.
So to you, Joanne Bolser of Mobile, Alabama, for handing out the LA Math Proficiency Test to your 8th grade students. Congratulations, you are this week's winner of the Quad M FGS Award for Stupidity for the Week. Congratulations to you.
Way to go.
Yay!
You dummy!
All right, let's get into some hot takes here.
And the sign gotta say hot. It gotta say hot. You gotta say hot.
So over this past weekend, I was able to go and enjoy myself a little bit of the XMen Apocalypse movie.
And?
That has recently come out. And, you know, despite what the fucking critics want to say, I thought this movie was great. A lot of the banding about was how weak they felt the ending was. And I did not find the ending to be weak whatsoever. I think just a lot of people have kind of been spoiled a little bit by the Marvel movies and, you know, and all that type of stuff. But, you know, I mean, here again, if how's the best way I can describe this movie? XMen Apocalypse or Jason's headache in regards to continuity. And hold on, what the fuck is going? What? Wait a second. No, that's not what happened back in this movie. What the fuck? Fuck you, X-Men, and fuck you, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of shit when, you know, as things started happening to where I said, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and we're just going to throw continuity out the window here. There was a lot of retcon type shit that happens. Because if you remember the original 3 movies that had come out, like Nightcrawler didn't become part of the X-Men until like movie number 2. Mm. Well, he is a member of the X-Men in this movie. That takes place like 10 years prior. I mean, it's like I said, it's just a fucking, it's a thing. Basically, what it amounts to, kids go into this movie knowing.
Wait, it's a prequel?
Well, okay. So you had your first 3 movies. Okay.
Right.
Then
Are you going to tell me this has nothing to do with the other X-Men movies and it's just a reboot of a
No.
fucking
It's
fuck
okay.
stick thing?
Have you watched First Class or Days of Futures Past?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Days of Futures Past, Wolverine went back in time and it ended up fucking with history. So like we can all say that number 3 never happened and be okay with it. Basically, you got it's like how the new Star Trek line of movies is like its own alternate universe. This is kind of a different alternate universe. It's not a reboot, but it's a different branching type shitting thing.
Okay.
So I wouldn't call it a prequel, but I would just say the same song sung by a different group of people. But don't let that stop you from enjoying this movie.
Okay.
Here again, like I said, a lot of shit is retconned, so go into that knowing it. I thought Oscar Isaac, the guy who played the main villain Apocalypse, did a fantastic job. You'll probably recognize him also as Poe Dameron from the new Star Wars film. The only thing I would have changed on that is I would have pitch shifted his voice a little bit lower and make it more growling and booming, kind of like what they did with the 90s X-Men cartoon. Really the only change I'd make there. McAvoy and Fassbender are, again, fantastic as Professor X and Magneto. Jennifer Lawrence, I'm not as big a fan of hers like a lot of other people are, but she, does a great job. And I would say the good points to the film, solid action. It's not as cerebral as those original movies were. This has got plenty of action. We get to see like the young formation of the X-Men with Cyclops and Marvel Girl and Storm and Nightcrawler. You get the and it's not really a surprise, but you get the guest like quick little cameo appearance of Hugh Jackman. Really enjoyable across the board. I really did enjoy this movie. I liked some of the self-deprecating references that they made, because again, this takes place in 1983. So some of the kids decide that they're going to skip out on the school and have themselves a little bit of a day. So you see them come out of Return of the Jedi. And of course, they're sitting to do, I thought it was just, no, Empire was the way better movie. And then the gal plays Jean Grey. He goes, oh, come on, everybody knows the third movie sucks. Much in reference to how bad X-Men The Last Stand was. So, there was that little bit of self-deprecation there that I enjoy so bad. And I think there was a couple other references to the previous movies that kind of escaped me at this point. Another great scene with showing Quicksilver and his speed, much like what they did in Days of Futures Past, where he's taking out the guards. This time he's rescuing all the kids from an exploding Xavier school. Really the only, as far as like bad things in the movie or things that I didn't quite cotton to, things I wasn't quite a fan of. Here again, I don't know that I would have put in... I wouldn't have put in Nightcrawler. I would have kept him out of there, just again because of what had been established back in the original X-Men trilogy. There's not really a whole lot of bad that I could say about it. Maybe after a second viewing I could find something, but by and large, I didn't really have too much of a problem with it. And of course, kids, as always with Marvel films, there is a post-credit scene which kind of hints, if there is to be another movie, kind of hints to the coming of one of my favorite villains, Mr. Sinister. So, out of a 10, I would probably give this a strong 8. It's not one of those upper echelon Marvel movies like Civil War or Winter Soldier or anything like that, but I would put it it's Deadpool fun level. It's great action across the board. Definitely, if you get the chance to go see it, go check it out. Fantastic movie. All right, so let's go ahead here. What do we got next up on the docket? So you got some Independence Day news for us there.
Well, yeah, just a little blurb. They've got Independence Day Resurgence is coming out, a sequel to the original Independence Day, the movie that kind of redefined what we expect from a blockbuster sci-fi film with explosions and...
Yeah, I would say in regards to effects, yes. In regards to story...
whatever. But anyway, on June 23rd, which I gather is actually a day before the actual release of the movie.
Okay.
They are going to, in some theaters, you'll have to Google it, fuck off.
Google it, bitch.
They're going to do a double feature of Independence Day and Independence Day Resurgence.
Nice.
Yeah. But, I'm looking forward to that movie. I like the first one. The Will Smith is not in the second one, but most of the other guys are.
Yeah, I think he's the only one who isn't coming back, but they've got, and I don't know who the actor is, but he's playing the role of, his son, who's also taken up to being in the Air Force as the hotshot pilot. And like I said, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I know it's just big and blowing shit up real good that I'll probably go. So we can plan a day to go and bear witness to it. Like I say, my only issue with the first original Independence Day, going and seeing it in the theater in 1997, it was an experience because you didn't have that level of freaking awesomeness. Like when they blow up the Empire State Building, and I think, did they blow up the White House?
The White House, and
yeah. Seeing that on the big, huge fucking screen, you're just like, oh my god, this is awesome.
See, yeah.
And by the time it came to our 13-inch screens, the movie in and of itself, just, I don't know, for me, it just didn't quite hold up as far as story and stuff. But, I mean, that's, my opinion, and opinions are like assholes.
Well,
Everyone's got one.
The story isn't anything new. The aliens come, we fight them.
Right, right.
Story as old as time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it looks like this one is going to be the Empire Strikes Back of Independence Day.
So, yeah.
That's what I'm seeing.
Between the first Independence Day and Resurgence, they've had time to learn and use and implement the alien technology.
Yeah, like assimilate the alien technology
and whatnot. Yeah, and, I'm curious. I'll check it out. I want to see it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, we'll plan a time when you will get a full review here at the Quad M Show. Yeah. All right. Well,
at least it's a fucking sequel.
As opposed to a reboot.
Yeah, or a reboot of this prequel.
Well, we decided we're going to do a reboot of the remake of a movie that was put out in 1960 based off of a movie done in 1953. All right, so a little bit of Star Trek news.
Yeah.
Not so much the new summer movie, but the tentative CBS series.
CBS series, yeah.
They released a little teaser trailer. Did you get a chance to see that?
I did, yeah.
It wasn't anything, that was too,
it was a teaser trailer.
Spectacular. It was
Star
just
Trek-y music, and then the logo comes up, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and you kind of see this blown-up little planet as it's flying through. New heroes, new villains, new this, new that. The one thing that I did get from this teaser trailer was, how we were talking about it was going to be specific to the CBS streaming online in-demand shit.
Yeah.
From what it appeared, it looked like it's actually going to be on CBS proper. From the way I was reading, it was like, coming this fall, 2017, and streaming. So it looks like it is actually going to be on the network TV as well.
I mean, why wouldn't they, limit themselves to just online? For CBS.
And Star Trek, that would be stupid.
Yeah.
Because they know people like you and me that, we'll watch and we'll check it out, but we're not going to fucking subscribe to some bullshit streaming CBS shit just to see it. No. So, so it's nice to see that, even if whether or not that was the original intent, it's nice to see that they are going to be doing that. So that definitely helps out. And you had some news coming from the writers and producers.
Yeah, new news on the new Star Trek.
New news. News is good news.
Joe Manaski and Aaron Colliette have joined the series as writers. Joe Manaski was a writer on Star Trek The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager.
So he's been around the Star Trek horn a time or three.
He has. He has written some of the most favorites of the fans of the episodes. He's written most of those.
Right.
Yeah, he's basically written the key top-notch episodes of a couple of the Star Trek series. Aaron Colliette is a comic book writer known for Ultimate X-Men. He has television experience, all 4 seasons of NBC's Heroes. And novelist Kirsten Beyer.
Not familiar.
Probably not. She wrote some he or she wrote some Star Trek Voyager and Buffy the Vampire Slayer books.
Okay.
So basically, they've got some like writers who know their shit.
Yeah. They've got some street cred to them.
Yeah, exactly. So far, 3 producers have been named. We've got Brian Fuller has done Hannibal and American Gods, and he has written a few episodes of Star Trek, of DS9 and Voyager. Alex Kurtzman, Fringe, Sleepy Hollow. What he's done, and director Nicholas Meyer is going to be a producer, and he's the director of Star Trek: Wrath of Khan.
Ooh,
yeah.
Well, all right. Now we're bringing out the big guns here. Now,
yeah. Now the new series isn't connected to the new movies. It is. It's speculated to take place between Kirk and Picard in that time frame.
Okay,
is what we've got going on so far. Seems like got some good writers and producers and
from like the little clips of other things that I've seen, it looks like it is going to be Enterprise, so it may end up being like Enterprise B or C or fucking whatever. If it's going to be taken in between.
You can't have Star Trek and not have the Enterprise.
Yeah, unless it's the Voyager.
Even DS9 was the Enterprise was still in that one too.
From time to time.
Yep. Yeah, there was a
little drag out
time travel episode. Shit, right? The Enterprise was even at DS9, Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
The whole series of Enterprise with Scott Bakula apparently was just a hologram on the fucking Enterprise's holodeck.
The way that fucking ended, yeah.
So yeah. The Enterprise.
All right, and before we get into the next topic here, I'm kind of calling. I'm not calling it audible, but did you see the latest with our boy Fat Axel?
No. I didn't. What did he do now?
Well, I think what we're gonna have, we may end up having to call him next week, and talk to Fat Axel a bit. Apparently, our boy Fat Axel is looking at throwing a lawsuit at Google. Apparently, Fat Axel is kind of sick and tired of seeing all of these degrading memes and pictures in regards to his weight, and he is demanding that Google take them down.
So, Fat Axel has no idea how the internet works.
None whatsoever. So I think it's time. I think we may have to just give him a little bit of a call next week, and kind of see what's running through Fat Axel's mind on this. Just a prelude to next week, kids.
I did not know about this, so this means there's going to be a shit ton of Fat Axel memes.
Oh, we're gonna have fun.
All the internet is.
We're gonna have a good time. So this past Sunday, as I was kind of winding down, I told you I'm going to give Preacher a chance,
right?
And so whilst folding socks, getting all my my last minute stuff done, I decided I was going to play Sunday's episode. Did you catch any of last week's episode?
I haven't been able to yet.
Oh, I don't know. Do I want to ruin this for you or not? It's not okay. This isn't going to ruin anything story wise. But did you get the text that I sent you
about watching it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes, my good sir, you are going to be pleasantly surprised. Well, I'm not even going to say surprised because we're going to talk about it. But you are going to be a very happy man
Oh, because the patron, the Saint of Killers is there.
Oh, yes. And it's really cool the way that they're going
Those
about it.
Fucking bastards. They did that. God damn it.
I told you they were keeping a lid on it. Now
they did a good job. Holy shit.
Whoever this actor is, well, now I believe I brought it up that Garth Ennis had said, the Saint of all killers, you can't get any better. So, he acknowledged that he was going to be in this, but I didn't know how they were going to play this out. From what it looks like, what they're going to be doing is telling his origin in like the first 5 minutes of every episode.
Oh, okay.
Up until, now you remember you had those two guys, like you said from the first episode, who went to Africa, then they went to Russia, and then at the very end they're like, hey, he's here. And then, they start walking up the thing, right? Well, these two guys are clearly the angels, Fior and LeBlanc. These are the two guys that will eventually call up the spirit and bring the Saint of all killers to the modern day. But what they're doing, and this is really cool, is that like the first 5 minutes, they're going through and like you get this, you see kind of this pastoral looking saint, right? And all of a sudden, big, huge freaking block letters, 1881. And I'm like, oh, please, yes. Please, yes. And it started, the daughter is sick and the wife sends the saint, and this is obviously before he's the Saint of all killers, sends him out to go get her medicine. Oh, okay. And he's riding out slowly on, just plodding along on his horse, and comes upon a family of, settlers coming out to the west to make their way, make their life. And he sits with him. He doesn't say a word except for something about, like, the guy says, isn't this paradise? He said, no, this ain't paradise. And then it cuts to where you see all of these Indians that have been lynched, and they're hanging from this tree. And then it pans, and you see the saint, and it camera comes in on the saint, and then it comes back, pulls around, and it just says, the big sign says, "Welcome to Ratwater." And I says, "Oh my God, we got him!" And then I think that was the moment when I sent you the text saying, "You, good sir, are going to be pleasantly surprised by this." And as it goes with the series thus far, and I think you should be able to see it on AMC.com. I think they'll run the current episode streaming on the website or wherever you choose to watch it.
I think they do, yeah.
I despite my misgivings on some of the presentation that they are giving, like, again, him staying in Anvil and kind of setting everything up around that, I am going to give this show its fair chance. Because at this point, you know how I was bitching about Cassidy not looking like Cassidy?
Yeah.
Second episode, he fucking looks like Cassidy now. He's got the jean vest and the shirt and the whole 9 yards, and he's busting into the basement to get the communal wine and start fucking pounding and all this type of shit. They're adding things that are improving, but there's some things that I'm just like I said, I got to give it its chance to play out, because there are certain things like the character of Odin Quinn Cannon, who they brought Jackie Earle Haley into play. Fuck, I would never. This is why I am not a casting director, because I would never in a million years have seen him as the Meat Man, right? Mm-hmm. Fuck, dude, they got him shaved. They put the glasses on him. Fuck, looks just like him. I'm like, holy shit. But they're making him like this presence in Anvil, as opposed to in the comics. We didn't see him until way later on, where he was running the town of Salvation, Texas. Mm-hmm. So again, you take it for what it is. It's TV. Sure. It's not the comic. But yeah, I mean, at this juncture, they're giving a good presentation. So second episode in, I'm not too disappointed yet. We'll let this guy play out.
All right.
Eddie Murphy. Apparently, from what I'm hearing here, is making a comeback.
Eddie Murphy is making a comeback again.
Yeah, this will be his third comeback.
Well, Hollywood loves a comeback.
Well, ironically enough, he did star in the movie Boomerang, so there you go. That's life imitating art, I guess.
And where have a lot of things been making a comeback lately?
Hold on. Let me think. Netflix? Yes! TJ does it again. So what sort of god-awful Netflix TV/movie will Eddie be bringing to us?
Eddie Murphy is going to star in it's a Netflix project from Brett Ratner. It is called Soul, the Murray Story. It is a mockumentary.
Well, hopefully it'll turn out better than X-Men 3 did for Brett Ratner.
Yeah. Basically, it's chronicling the life of an aging soul singer named Murray. Yeah, and he gets his band back together when a rap group samples one of his legendary songs from the 60s.
Okay.
So, yeah. I'm just going to read this one here. I forgot who I stole it from. In many ways, the story of Soul could really mirror the career of Eddie Murphy himself. He's one of the most profitable film actors of all times, but in recent years his presence as a force to be reckoned with at the box office has seriously come into question. Unlike his earlier classics, Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, his more recent movies like Norbit and The Adventures of Pluto Nash have been widely panned by audiences and created an immense blemish on his once great resume.
Well, yeah. But here's the thing. In amongst those stinkeroos... Okay, see, this is where I'm not...
Maybe Eddie Murphy is getting back to being funny.
Well, but here's the thing, though. They sit there and throw out, fucking Nash and Norbert. Here's the thing, kids. In between those movies, you had the Shrek films, you had the Nutty Professor movies, and those fucking Nutty Professor movies were...
They didn't even mention that in this article.
That's my problem with the media. It's always... This is why I say there's no such thing as real news anymore. It's all op-ed. We're going to take this out so we can get our point across.
Shrek, probably one of the most profitable blah, blah, blah type of movies,
Yeah. They failed to mention Mulan. Wasn't he the dragon in Mulan, I think?
I think so.
So, no, he's been doing funny shit. He's been doing marketable shit. Because, like I said, the Nutty Professors and the Shreks, those were making mad cash. We're just going to pull out these two stinkeroos.
That's a nice boulder.
But you know what, though? I would say I am all in if we get his performance as this Murray, if he does it as a cross between James Brown and Randy Watson.
Murphy, raw.
No, I was going to go Randy Watson from Coming to America.
Oh, you're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely. And while you're in the clapping mood, I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band, Sexual Chocolate. I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Sexual Chocolate!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so good luck to you, Eddie.
I want the knife. Please.
Child. All right. Well, let's go ahead here, and as we try to round this bad boy out. So you when you had sent me your stuff for this week's episode, you had brought to my attention in just the simple words of Stone Cold and Rainbow Man.
Stone Cold and Rainbow Man. Yeah.
So please, you hit me to this. I got to hear this.
Okay. I got this from a couple sources: Wikipedia, uprocks.com, somewhere else. But it's Austin 316 and the Rainbow Man is what I call this little.
This little corner.
Yeah.
Bert's corner. This week in Jason's corner.
From the late 70s to early 90s, a man named Roland Stewart would attend various sporting events, donning a multicolored clown wig and brandishing a John 3:16 sign. For 3 years, he was simply the Rainbow Man, but after the 1980 Super Bowl, he was inspired by a televangelist to become a born-again Christian.
Oh, well, all right.
And integrate the Bible passage into his act, the John 3:16. From then on, he would put himself in view behind home plate at MLB games, behind the goalposts at NFL games, and even standing behind Jack Nicklaus at the Masters. So one man's crazy is another man's pulp culture phenomenon, and the trend of holding up the signs extended far beyond the lone act of a guy who loved Jesus and clown wigs. Steve Austin said it was the first thing that came to his mind, given that he had often seen the signs of the scripture held up at football games. Were it not for Roland Stewart and his effect on the sports culture, Steve Austin may not have had the effect on pro wrestling that he did. And I'm sure you've seen it. You probably can quote it.
Hold on.
The first time that old Stone Cold brought out and that's the bottom line, because Austin 316 and whatever. You could probably quote that from memory.
I'm saving the rebuttal. When you are done, I will not, maybe not so much refute, but I will rebuttal.
Rebuttal. So, continuing, this is a story of Stewart, not Stone Cold.
Sure.
But Stewart was arrested in 1992. He was in a standoff at a California hotel during which he entered a vacant room with two men he was attempting to kidnap. And he surprised a maid when they...
Wait, Rainbow Man was trying to kidnap somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And broke into a hotel room or something and scared a maid, and she locked herself in the bathroom. Stewart believed that the rapture was due to arrive in 6 days. During the standoff, he threatened to shoot at airplanes taking off from nearby Los Angeles airport. And he covered the hotel room in his fucking John
316 signs.
Stewart is currently serving 3 consecutive life sentences in prison on kidnapping charges. Having rejected a plea deal of 12 years in order to spread his message in open court. After being sentenced, he began a religious tirade and had to be restrained by bailiffs. He became eligible for parole in 2002, but was denied as recently as March 2010. His most recent review will be in 2017. And after this conviction, he was also found guilty of 4 stink bomb attacks.
Oh, stink bomb attacks. Good Lord in heaven.
Yep. He ran a blog until his last parole denial. He is a subject of a 1997 documentary called Rainbow Man by Sam Green. Stone Cold Steve Austin was convicted of domestic abuse in 2002. He was given a year of probation, a $1,000 fine, and 80 hours of community service. I just had to throw that last bit in there because I was like,
Well, and to which I'll say, if this guy was like the first one to start throwing up the whole damn, John 3:16 signs at sporting events and all that type of stuff, then I'll give credit where credit's due. But here again, I have gone on record. I'm a Stone Cold Steve Austin diehard from way back in the day, and I believe in one of the previous episodes I actually played the cut from King of the Ring 1996. When Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Jake the Snake Roberts to become King of the Ring. Uh-huh. And the whole thing behind the deal was that Jake Roberts had come back, and his angle was that he was a born-again Christian, right? Mm-hmm. And he was wrestling for the Lord, or whatever the hell he was doing. And so the premise on that, I think they previously, Stone Cold had busted his lip wide open in a previous match. So they rush him to the hospital, get the shit sewn and stitched up, and bring him back. And Michael Hayes, who's working as a road agent, told him, he says, okay, Jake Roberts won. So, when you win, you need to cut a promo. He's like, well, hell, son, what kind of promo you want me to cut? Do something on the religion thing. Do something on that religion thing. And so then that's when... he said, well, shit, okay, I got the first thing. And that's when he does the whole, you sit there and say your prayers and thump your Bible and give us your John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, could Rainbow Man have been? I'll okay. You know, I'll give props.
Let me reread. Steve Austin said that it was the first thing that came into his mind, given that he had often seen the signs of the spectator and blah blah blah.
And there we go.
Rebuttal denied.
Oh no. My rebuttal is a solid rebuttal. I'm just saying it very well could be, you know, the evidence, but there is more to it than I remember that damn guy running around with his rainbow wig and his sign. Okay. So to wrap up this second segment, I got a question for you. I saw a Facebook post the other day, and I didn't see any subsequent replies. It just made me very, very quizzical, and I don't know if you would like to elaborate or not. That of course, as always, is your call. But there was a post by one Jason Vickers that said something along the lines of, "Good Lord," I remember specific, but it was something like, "Good Lord, people are stupid and they're going to fall for hoaxes all the time."
No.
Okay. So what was the post?
Derogatory. I just said, why do people keep falling for the same hoax over and over?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Why do people keep falling for the same hoax over and over and over? So I have to ask, what hoax were we talking about?
Oh, it was just those stupid Facebook posts where Facebook has confirmed that beginning blah blah blah, they'll start charging for this.
Oh, that
unless
stupid
you fucking
shit.
share this post and
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and if you copy and paste, your picture will turn blue, and if it turns blue, you know you won't be blah blah blah. Yeah. Dude, you know, it's as bad as fucking clickbait.
I know, dude. I know.
But at least clickbait offers up good
people post that, and
titles.
you get on there and you tell them this is a hoax. It's not real. And they're like, but just in case.
Yeah. I
moron.
don't usually fall for this type of thing, but
just in case.
Morons.
Yeah, and it reminded me of the one where people would copy and paste upon copying and pasting, I hereby deny Facebook the righteous use of my content, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah. Which ladies and gentlemen, there's a thing called terms of service.
Yeah. The thing you don't read.
Yeah. So, no, you can go ahead and post that shit all you want. That don't change nothing.
Nope.
No. Congratulate to everybody out there that has fucking copied, posted, pasted, and done all that stupid shit. You guys have also won yourselves a nice big old fat FGS award for this week, too.
There you go.
Big old dummies. All right. So with that, we will go ahead. We will wrap up the second segment, and we will be back with a little bit of Reddit fun and picks of the week. This is the Quad M Show. Stay tuned.
In a city where corruption rules the streets, only one man can stop the serial killer known as the Blood Bandit. James Kurt, a former police officer turned private investigator, must race against the clock to stop the madman before he achieves his ultimate diabolical goal. When JK's brother Alex is thought killed in the line of duty and mysteriously returns with no memory of his past life, the stakes are raised even higher. Enigma, the comic book series from Quad M Productions, written and illustrated by TJ Damon, with colors and effects by Jason Vickers. Enigma. Order your copy at quadmproductions.com today.
Now from Quad M Records, the latest, greatest singing sensation, Belly Running Water. Listen as he covers today's hits. From Adele. Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times. So pick up your phone, fucker.
Billy, can we just have you stick to the script, please?
Or how about this #1 hit from Dido? I will not go down with this ship. I will not put a white flag. Hey, cousin.
Yeah,
hey,
Billy.
Cousin.
Yeah, Billy.
How come you're making me sing a song by somebody called Dildo?
Billy, her name is not Dildo, it's Dido. She's a very popular British singer. It's Dido.
So how come you're making me sing a song by someone called Dildo, eh? Or how about this classic by Sam Smith? You don't think I know what you've done? And when you call me baby, I know I'm not the only one. And if I ever find that other little fucker, I'm gonna cut him.
Billy, what with you?
Maybe you'd like a little bit of this classic hit by Flo Rida. So just put your lips together and go nice and slow. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Here we go. Oh shit, this is that song about the blowjob,
Billy,
isn't it?
for fuck's sake, we're running out of time and money.
I'm just saying, eh? Give a listen as Billy has a duet with international singing superstar Wing. I'm a little drunk too. How about we go back into the closet over there and I turn me off a chunk, eh?
God damn it, Billy!
You up there sassing me too, huh? I'll come up there and I'll cut you too. It's Billy Running Water Sings the Hits. Available now for download and wherever physical media is sold. Welcome back to the third and final segment of the Quad M Show. We are your hosts. I am TJ.
And Jason.
And this segment of the Quad M Show is brought to you by Deeply Dapper. Hey, looking for that one-of-a-kind gift for the geek who has it all? Maybe a little something out of the ordinary for yourself? Well, look no further than Deeply Dapper. Ranging from The Walking Dead to Doctor Who to Labyrinth to Star Wars and well beyond, Deeply Dapper has it all. From original art prints to cloth dolls, handcrafted light switch plates and key hangers to handmade soaps, all based on your favorite Nerd World properties. Visit the online store today at deeplydapper.squarespace.com. That's deeplydapper.squarespace.com. Deeply Dapper, better living through tentacles. Oh, all right. Do we have her? Do we have her ready, good sir?
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead, get right into it here, and have ourselves a little Reddit fun with Jason.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
This one isn't really like a Q&A we can take quizzes and stuff on.
Oh, no. We've had these kinds before, you know, reading stories. And
reading their stories. And, yes, living vicariously through others.
So what stories will we be hearing about today, good sir?
This is posted by Throwaway Stuff. Sex store workers, what's it like?
Oogie.
And usually we kind of make predictions before we get into these. Like, is it going to be funny or is it going to be like all serious and crap? I think this one has the potential to be seriously funny.
Heart-wrenchingly funny.
All right.
Tales of woe that involve more woe than tales. Let's get into it.
This is from I Eat Applesauce. It says, it varies from store to store. Some customers like to be discreet. They usually don't say more than 5 words to you and wear hats and hooded sweatshirts.
Trench coats and fedoras.
Others treat it like an everyday thing, and it will converse with you as if you're a grocery checkout person. The third type of customer are my favorite. One man was buying a butt plug and said, if this thing was any wider, it'd be a traffic cone. I now have that phrase embroidered on a throw pillow.
If it was any wider, it'd be a traffic cone.
Oh, yeah. All right. This is from It's Not Appropriate. It says, I used to work in one of those mom and pop video stores with the swinging saloon doors for porn. Right before video stores up and died. It was interesting. Most of our porn customers were older, sad, marginally shady types, but occasionally there'd be a totally unapologetic woman who would strut up with a few boxes and a look on her face that said, so I like porn. What the fuck of it? Also, someone once jizzed on a wax paper sleeve that had previously held onion rings and left it in the little back room. Uncool.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is from No Lasagna. It says, I managed an adult video store for 3 years. I had most regular customers during the week. Guys that would come in every day, rent some movies, little chit-chat. Sometimes one guy would pay with weed, which was nice. We didn't have viewing rooms. I don't think I would have worked there if there was. I learned everything you'd ever want to know about lube from one of my gay customers. This is from Don't Be a Wigga. I worked in one and was usually fine until the creepy people came in. Like once I sold a butt plug to the local priest.
Oh, jeez.
I don't ask the customers anything personal or tell anyone about who buys what. Yet we need female and male staff because some people are too shy to buy either from a male or a female. Our best sales person is an ugly fat woman because people feel better approaching her.
Oh, what? I'm just going to show this to the parishioners this weekend.
Blood Reaper says, hard. Oh. Turns out there's an entire subreddit called Tales from Adult Stores.
Ooh.
Okay. This is from Strongman Magic. Not me, but a girl I once dated for a long time. Fun and a pain in the ass. You get a lot of dirty old men hitting on you. You get prank calls all the time. Fun. You get to teach people all about sex and all the fun you can have. Upside to dating a girl that works one, all the toys you can play with.
Trying out the new product.
That girl knocked so many things off my sexual bucket list. This is from Smith Itchy. Great job, lots of fun. Worked at one back in 1990. I sure wouldn't have wanted to be the janitor in one of those places, though. The worst thing I saw was a guy go into a private booth and come out completely naked and covered head to toe in shit. I still remember the image of shit footprints on the floor. Whatever our janitor made, it wasn't enough.
Oh my God. You know, I've only been, myself personally, I've only been into the adult boutiques twice in my life. Once was in Calgary, and then once I think was you, me, and a former business partner went up to the one up in Great Falls once.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone I ever go to just kind of skeezy, and you don't want to touch nothing. They didn't have hand sanitizer back in them days.
I'm subscribing Quad M on Reddit to the Tales from Adult Store.
all the stories that are fit to print.
Cardboard Kittens says, worked in a fetish shop for a year about 2 years ago. It was really fun. I loved it. We were a very open-minded shop. We had workshops as well for BDSM. We did have some weirdos come in, but who am I to judge someone's sex life as long as it's legal and consensual? Being into BDSM heavily, I passed no judgments. Some customers were very open about their kinkier side. Some acted like they didn't want anyone to know. We got a lot of people who would buy a toy, and when they put it on the counter, they would say something along the lines of, I normally never buy something like this. But then we get the people who are very vocal and active. It was a fun experience, and it really changed my outlook on things. I'm more sex positive now. My favorite is the jokesters. They would come in and crack jokes at everything. Then we get stuff like pain in the ass. Dildos everywhere. Some days we're a pain in the ass to work there. Long, thick, and curved a little to the left. And we're done.
And we're done.
Yep.
Oh, this is shit. I thought this episode was going to be a hell of a lot longer, Christ. We might barely fucking hit the hour mark. All right. Well, let's go ahead here then and kind of wrap this guy up. Do you, good sir, have any picks of the week this week?
I've been watching, for a little entertainment on the side, is YouTube channel called AVE. It's
AVE.
Yeah, he's a guy who kind of fixes and builds stuff, but he's this weird, fucking hilarious Canadian guy. And
okay.
And it's hilarious to watch.
AVE.
Yep.
All right. Well, my pick of the week this week, and yeah, okay, you guys can probably call me out for jumping on a bandwagon or whatever, but this past weekend we saw the passing of arguably the greatest of all time, one Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
And now, while obviously I was not alive or around to be able to bear witness to his greatness, didn't see him whoop Jerry Corey's ass, didn't get to see the Foreman Thrilla in Manila or any of that type of stuff. But I do acknowledge two things. Number one, arguably the greatest boxer of all time. And also, him as a person, what he did, across the board to be an inspiration. You figure he struck at the right time. In the 60s, he was vocal about not fighting in Vietnam. They stripped him of his boxing license for 3 years because he wouldn't go to Vietnam, but he held to his convictions. And during that time, he was also a major figurehead for the civil rights movement, and race equality, all that type of stuff. And it's one of those things where, since I think he was diagnosed early 80s at some point, but, having the Parkinson's disease, to still, even suffering from Parkinson's disease, he was still a presence. Like, when you saw him, it was like, that's Muhammad fucking Ali. That guy is the king badass. And so my pick of the week is basically the life, the times, and the career of Muhammad Ali, greatest of all time, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Safe home, good sir.
There you go.
Is all I can say there. Well, so with that, we will go ahead and wrap up this edition of the Quad M Show. Ladies and gentlemen, please feel free. Follow us on Facebook, or like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Rate, rank, and subscribe to us on iTunes. It's very, very important. Until next week, this is TJ.
Jason.
And we will see you all later. Take care.
You've been listening to Quad M Show. Copyright 2016, Quad M Productions. If you have any comments, questions, queries, quibbles, concerns, or just have something funny to say to us, feel free. Email us at quadmcomics@gmail.com or send us a tweet at quadmcomics.
And the deputation. Okay, let me try this again. Farmers.
You should read these before you try to read them.
I got me good words and excellent gooder English. Yeah.
Just read it like that. You seem to be doing just fine.
Farmers relay the concerns.
All right.